Happy New Week, everyone. This is Analytica today, and I'm your host, Meron Damda. On today's episode, we would like to talk to you about Turkey's Somalia dilemma, intelligence warnings, fragile governance, and the risks of a strategic outreach. A new report from Turkey's National Intelligence Academy has sent quite shockwaves through Ankara's foreign policy circles. Behind the diplomatic smiles, military parades, and the billion-dollar aid packages, Somalia, the centerpiece of Turkey's African strategy, is entering a period of acute fragility. Militant threats, political fragmentation, and growing geopolitical rivalries are converging at a dangerous moment. If Turkey miscalculates, Somalia might slip. If Turkey miscalculates, Somalia may slip into a deeper crisis, one that could spill across borders, disrupt the entire Somali federal system, and ignite instability across the wider Horn of Africa. How long can Ankara sustain its expanding footprint in a country that appears increasingly vulnerable? On December 5, 2025, Turkey's National Intelligence Academy released a wide-ranging assessment titled A Multidimensional Partnership Model, examining Ankara's evolving role in Somalia. Publicly, the relationship appears strong: military training, infrastructure development, humanitarian aid, and strategic investments. But beneath the optimism lies a stark warning. The report argues that Somalia is entering a phase of heightened fragility driven by al-Shabaab's endurance, political fragmentation between federal states, institutional weaknesses, climate shocks, and intensifying external geopolitical pressure. These dynamics raise critical questions about the sustainability of Ankara's largest overseas military and economic mission. This analysis unpacks Turkey's expanding influence, the intelligence community's concerns, and the risks shaping Somalia's future. Militancy and the limits of military gains. Turkey's intelligence report opens a blunt assessment. Despite years of joint operations, al-Shabaab remains Somalia's most dangerous and adaptive threat. The group continues to conduct bombings, targeted assassinations, and extortion operations across major economic corridors. Despite counterterrorism gains in 2022, federal forces failed to maintain momentum, allowing al-Shabaab to reassert its influence in 2023. Ankara's intelligence officers note three troubling trends. 1. Al-Shabaab's shadow governance now administers taxes and security in several rural zones. 2. Gaps in Somali force cohesion continue to undermine long-term stabilization. 3. A small ISIS faction in Puntland through limited adds another layer of militant complexity. Turkey's flagship military project, Camp Turksem, has trained more than 15,000 Somali troops, yet the report concludes that Somalia still cannot secure itself without external support. This reality places Turkey in a strategic blind. A fragile security environment requires deeper commitment, but deeper commitment risks entangling Ankara in Somalia's internal conflicts, especially as regional rivalries intensify. Moreover, if conflict escalates between Mogadishu and federal states, al-Shabaab would exploit the fragmentation immediately, triggering a chain reaction of instability across Somalia, Puntland, Jubaland, and the entire Horn. Fragmented federalism and political fault lines. The second major risk highlighted by the Turkish intelligence is Somalia's unresolved federal structure. An incomplete constitution and a vague divisions of authority between Mogadishu and federal member states have produced recurring confrontations, especially with Puntland and Jubaland. Ankara's analysis warned that election disputes repeatedly trigger institutional paralysis. Revenue-sharing battles stall economic planning and donor cooperation. Local resistance to Mogadishu centralization fuels mistrust and fragmentation governance. This political gridlock directly affects Turkey's development programs, which rely on stable coordination between federal and regional authorities. Any deterioration in relations, such as Mogadishu's recent disputes with Puntland, could freeze or derail Turkey's multi-billion-dollar infrastructure security and investment projects. In addition, the implications extend beyond development. If federal tensions spiral, Somalia risks entering a broader national disruption that will inevitably weaken counter-terrorism operations. Such a crisis would open major opportunities for al-Shabaab to expand, threaten maritime routes in the Gulf of Eden, and destabilize neighboring Ethiopia, Djibouti, and Kenya. The intelligence report leaves little ambiguity. Somalia's political fragility is a strategic liability for Turkey.